How do you develop character? Well, one is self-awareness, introspection, looking at what are my motives? What do I value? How am I showing up? What am I not seeing in myself? What is going on? Look at the conditioning, because we've all been conditioned. We've all been conditioned, and it affects how we see. Looking at the assumptions that we've made, looking at the conditioning of how we're seeing others and our life. The person in business who's a manager complained, you know, I treat my employees so well and I go out of my way to do nice things for them, and I feel that if I'm not around, they'll just spend the whole day at the water cooler. Maybe it's how she's seeing her employees. That's the problem. Maybe she's seeing them as mechanical objects rather than seeing them as people. Yesterday I saw the movie Spotlight. It's about the Boston Globe uncovering the abuse by Catholic priests of children, uncovering some 80 priests in the Boston area who had abused children, and the leaders in the hierarchy that supported it at least turned their heads from it. A priest, someone who people have made assumptions about, wearing a collar, speaking the words that a priest would speak, probably being very charming, and yet something wasn't right inside. And the people in leadership who turned their heads and didn't want to acknowledge it, didn't want to see it. What were they thinking? Were they more interested in how they would be perceived by others in their church, how their family would think about them, how their friends would think about them, how it would affect their work if they spoke up? I wonder if now, if they think that choice was worth it. I'm sure they don't. Again, we all can do that. We all do in some way. Probably aren't aware of some of the conditioning that we have and the assumptions that we make about other people and about life. That's affecting the lens through which we see, and therefore affecting our attitudes and our behaviors. To develop our character, we need to look within and see, where is that attitude coming from? Where is that behavior coming from? What is the conditioning, the lens, the assumptions that I've made that's causing me to think in this way and behave in this way? Secondly, get an image of the person you want to be. How do you want to show up with your son, your daughter, your parents, your friends, other people? You've probably heard the exercise. How do you want people to speak about you at your funeral? In your eulogy, what do you want people from the community to say about you? What do you want your family to say about you? What do you want your friends to say about you? What do you want people from your workplace or your church to say about you? What kind of person do you want to be? Because one of the interesting things is when we go to a funeral, you never hear them say, he raised the stock of this company by 2.5%. and he has $2 million in his bank account or 20 million in his bank account. You don't hear people say that in the eulogy. You might hear them say it over lunch, but no, it's all about what a great daughter she was, or what a great mother or father, what a difference he made in the community or in my life. That's what we hear about. We hear about character, who the person was, who they were being in their life. And character is rooted in eternal principles that lead to effective communication, effective relationships, and lasting happiness. Character qualities. Third, make choices on a daily basis. Making choices to follow through on what's important to us. Making choices to make that phone call, to keep commitments to ourselves and keep commitments to other people. A daily basis. Character is developed in the small things, the little things. But inch by inch, it grows in us. Our character is developed as we make choices every day. And when we fail to live up to our highest and best, when we realize, I'm being hypocritical, when we realize, I'm judging, I have an assumption there that's not fair, or whatever, we can accept that, learn from it, and make a different choice next time. We can decide, how do I want to be? How am I going to make a different choice next time? And become that person and be transformed into that person over time. Making choices every day.